In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
So I'll take you, Quanell, to College Park, Maryland, where Kayla Elise Carter served as a racial equity leader, and she was charged with the task of going through all systems and policies in College Park, Maryland, seeking to eliminate any systemic discrimination or just discrimination generally. And now it's come out that she was a frequent user of social media, like so many people are, but in her social media content, she was demanding burning America down. There was one that's getting a lot of attention that says, today I co-hosted an occupied space with dozens of people who have committed their lives, businesses, and money to black liberation. On all days, every day, each day, light workers been planning for how we will eat and live and grow after we burn it all down. Now, her social media was covered with rhetoric that was very, very similar, and that would also call for any criticism of violence, of rioting, of criminality that was committed by African Americans. She would criticize the criticism and suggest that people are entitled to it because of historical grievances. And I mean, at least it seemed to suggest it was because of some sort of historical grievance. And the truth is that we in municipalities, in cities, and government, our government does not need to employ people that want to destroy America. And we have so much of it, especially in people in these DEI positions that were created from the ether with very good purpose, right, to help eliminate discrimination. But most of those jobs were created in spaces where there wasn't much discrimination, and you have people advocating late stage capitalism. We need communism, we need socialism, we need race-based segregation, which has roared its way back from the 1950s, but now it's this new race-based where, oh, we can't have white people in the space because their mere presence is violence or danger. This woman needed to be fired. This woman needed to be outed, and we don't need to be celebrating anyone that is calling for anyone. Well, just like we don't need to celebrate white racists calling for violence directed at black people, or Latino racists calling for violence against white or black people. We most certainly don't need to employ in our government or celebrate people that want to call for violence generally against white people, as you love to do.
This young lady, I believe, is a very courageous young woman that her and other leaders and other activists decided to stand up and protest a system of injustice. And I would want to say to our young sister that Minister Malcolm X said, only a fool fights in a burning house. And I would say to our young sister that when we do riot in our communities, that's where we ride. We don't ride in white folk neighborhoods. We ride in our own community.
That's not
true.
And
we burn down our own community.
We haven't seen that.
And I would want to encourage my young sister that if we're talking about black liberation, we must also include the root of black liberation theology. Black liberation should be economic liberation for black people. Black liberation should be educational liberation for black people coming out of institutions that have programmed our children with academic and educational white supremacy. Black liberation should be getting proper health care into the black community to deal with the many needs that we've had suffered as black people, because so many of us people, our people don't even trust doctors anymore because of situations like the Tuskegee experiment and others. But black liberation should never be burning down a country that we live in. If we're going to bring it down, destroy the theology and the mindset of white supremacy, but setting fire to America, we all live in this country together.
So when did the Tuskegee experiment occur?
That was in the 30s.
Okay, 1930s.
And it went on for 34 years.
And when you talk about Malcolm X, when was he active?
In the 1960s.
Okay. And let's talk about the last 50 years in America. America has robustly embraced affirmative action since the 1970s. It has robustly embraced a end to segregation since the 1970s. And in fact, you know, I went to school in inner city. We were bussed all over the place to create racial harmony.
And it never happened.
It has done well. But majority white America implemented an overwhelming number of policies to try to make this an inclusive, color-free country.
And that's a lie.
what we've seen in the last
That's a lie.
2 decades.
What the overwhelming number of
especially the
white
last
people did
10
in
years,
America was put out pacifiers and band-aids to historical discrimination
what we
and
have
racism
seen
against a
in the
people
last
to make it
15 years in
appear
America
like they were doing something
are
different and
these
better for black
new
people.
demands for new segregation, right, to exclude white people from things merely because of the color of their skin, to tell a new generation of white people that they should accept being pushed to the back of the line for admittance to universities, for jobs. In the last 4 years,
the present
we have
generation of
seen
white people have to
Fortune
understand
100, we
the
have seen-
great benefits that they
we have
inherited,
seen,
that they
why
inherited
should anyone
collectively
accept being
because
discriminated
of the evil
against?
that their
Why?
ancestors
Okay,
and parents
what-
and
so-
grandparents
so,
did.
First of all, my parents, my grandparents, my great-grandparents.
I'm
in fact-
speaking of the
in fact,
ancestors
no
of
one-
white people in
no
this
one
country.
in my lineage
Do
has
you realize
ever
that
owned
black
a slave
people
because
were punished
most
in America
white people were
up
poor
until
and didn't know
2005
anything.
with
But the
racism in
truth
banking,
is, what you
in
want,
home loans,
what you want is racism,
business
right?
loans.
What you want
Charles, it has
is,
never
is
ended,
young
Charles.
white people born in this century,
not young
to
white
be,
people,
the
the entire country of white people,
You want white
to
people
acknowledge
to be
the truth of
stuff
what
that they
really
never
happened
did,
and what
they
was
should
done.
accept people like this woman arguing for burning America down, and I don't care if she is black, white, brown, whatever.
Charles,
right?
how
Anyone
many
condemning
years
America
did Germany pay
should,
reparations to Jewish people?
Okay.
How many
Again,
years?
Again, Quanell.
Even 50 years
Quanell,
later,
Quanell,
Jewish people,
I
if they
get-
discovered
I get-
economic
you know, it's
riches
interesting to me
that was taken
because
from
you
the
have
Holocaust and other
repeatedly told
Jews,
me
they were
that
allowed to
you
prosecute
aren't
and get that money back from other
pro-individual
nations.
reparations.
So
You
why
want
is this good for
reparations
Israelis to do it,
go to
but not black
entities
people?
like you
but not
run
black people.
to stick the
No,
money in
you're
your
wrong,
pocket,
brother.
right? You say you don't want
Reparations
it.
is
We
for
need better
everybody,
schools.
not
We
individuals.
need better school. You see this? It's for your pockets, Quanell.
Not
You
individuals.
don't want black people
No,
benefited. You
that's
want
where you
Quanell
want.
benefited.
That's what racist crackers
we need
want
more,
to say about
we need
black
more,
people and
we, No, I'm
reparations.
just saying it about you.
I don't believe in individual
We need more
checks.
public safety.
Give the
we
money
need better
to
schools.
all of black
We need
people.
more opportunity. What you want is the
Charles,
money to go to you and other
this
nonsense
young
organizations.
lady,
Instead, just like
this young
just
lady,
like Black Lives
you've never
Matter.
lived her reality.
You
You've
know
never
what?
lived her reality.
Black Lives Matter
But
hasn't done a
and
damn
I'm not a
thing
member of Black
for
Lives Matter.
black people
And I'm not
that
a member
were
of them.
oppressed by bad
But
police.
guess what,
They
though?
just bought mansions
But guess what, though?
and stuck
White
the money in
folks
their
are the
damn
same thing
pocket.
as black people.
And that's all you want
White folks are
because
the
you're a
same thing as
greedy
black people
racist.
for hundreds of
Okay.
years in this
Not
country.
me.
Academically
Not
and
me.
politically and banking.
No, you just because of the color of my skin.
Charles, the truth is the truth.